even downright cruddy, buddy. Wish I missed the past, buddy, but there's still Buddycast. No, don't be naughty, go meet everybody here on Buddycast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and host of Buddycast, Nick Sorensen.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to everybody's favorite show, Buddycast. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Wednesday, right? Wednesday?
Thanks, yep. Wednesday. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Wednesday evening. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. This is your favorite show. This is everybody's favorite show, Buddycast, and that's everybody with a UDDY at the end. I've got an amazing buddy on the show. Just to let her know, we don't refer to you as a guest on the show. We refer to you as a buddy.
Love it.
I have my buddy, Sukesha Ray. How you doing, Sukesha?
Hi, guys.
Sukesha, do you mind if I call you Suki throughout the episode? Is that
Suki, Sushi, Sasquatch, Quatch, whatever you want to call me. I don't care.
Perfect. So Suki, the first question, you're an artist, you're a musician, you work pop culture. You have a resume probably the size of my backyard right now. The first thing I want to get into is your artwork. Let's talk about that. What inspired you to go into art?
Okay. And I love this question. I really do. I don't know. And I hate to say it like this because I was always born with this innate like desire and viciousness to draw. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it happened because I popped out at my mother's hoo-ha. I swear on God. And then I swear I should have had a pencil because I've been drawing on the walls. I've been drawing on my sister. I draw on one time I colored a paper donut. I cut it out and I fed it to my little sister. And I'm like, this is healthy for you. This is great. This is tasty. And Suhaili, she was like, now that I look back, this is so wrong. Anyway, not to go on a tangent, but yeah, I just always drew. And it was always something that was I even went to a palm reader in India. I'm half Indian for anyone who doesn't know. And we have a family Indian palm reader and he's like, yeah, she's got some like weird thing going on with the art is like, it is a thing with her. Like that is her, you know what I mean? It's her soul. I've just always felt like it was my sole purpose and I just can't explain it. So interesting.
Perfect. Tell me about your art style, your anime style that you just love to create.
Yeah, thank you for asking, Nick. Yes, my anime style, it stems like, all those kids growing up in middle school, you find your first manga comic or comic books and you're like, oh my God, this stuff is crazy. This is the good stuff. And then you're like, okay, well, I want to try and draw it. I used to draw Sonic characters and then it evolved to anime and I was like, wait a minute, I'm actually kind of good. Like this is not that bad. And all the kids used to crowd around me like in school. And then I was like, maybe there's something there, but I didn't know it at the time. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just like some kind of fun drawing, freak in school and people just like to crowd around and watch. But like, I don't know. I always liked reading the manga books. I was like, I loved the Japanese style. I loved reading the right, I believe it's right to left. You read the wrong way in manga. you read it backwards. So I've always been obsessed with it. And then it just kind of like became a part of me. I didn't feel like I could live without it, if that makes sense.
Nice. When did you know like this is really going to be your art form? Like this is really going to be like your style?
I think when people started, like when I started, everyone starts on DeviantArt, of course. Like if you're a 90s kid, early 2000s, DeviantArt. It was a big website for 90s kids. And I just remember that people were taking a lot of attention to like my Teen Titans work. And they were commissioning me online when I was like a young girl. And I was like, wait. Because at first we were just doing art trades and we were just doing the fun stuff. And then people were like, I'll pay you for this. Like, no, like I will pay you. And I'm like, what? You can, this is a business? I was learning, like, I was like, I am so confused right now. Are you serious? You can actually get paid for this shit. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
But you can get paid for it. And I was like, oh my goodness. this is something that I can actually, and I started to think in my young mind when I was like a preteen, maybe this could be a business, but I was still pre-med at the time. So I didn't really think of it like as that at that time. But yeah, I was making like some money when I was young, and I was like, oh, people like my anime style, which is crazy. I just thought this was fun. But my fun in a weird place, I just wanted the world to see it. My whole goal, Nick, was to make the world see my colors, see my art, and have people feel like a way by looking at it. You know?
And this show is all about buddies, all about just friends, people, new friends, old friends.
Yeah.
Who are some of your buddies throughout your career that have helped you get to where you are today? Like, who are some of your buddies that have really inspired you to be who you are today?
I love that question, Nick. I love that question, and I love what it stands for on your show. So, because I definitely would not be where I am. I mean, every great person has their team, their careers. If you guys are watching and I don't shout your name, it's nothing on you. I love all of you guys. I love all my friends. But as of recently, I have like a new agent. So big shout out to Blake, because he was the one that did get me into Japan for Osaka Comic-Con, which was a huge deal. That was crazy. Mustafa Musa, big shout to Mos. He's a great friend of mine. Got me my DC audition, actually, so I owe a lot to him. Yes, Mustafa was the one person that believed in me when everyone else told me that I couldn't do it. And that's a story I'll get into. And I tell this to a lot of my fans, but it's a story I'll get into a little bit later. So Mustafa Musa, big shout. Ryan Kincaid, of course, great guy, very talented. Peter Smith, my God. I feel like the list can go on, and I've got so many people, even, man, I can't even like call out specific people, but I think I do have to call out Mustafa for my DC cover. I'll call out Blake for getting me into Japan. Those two are very, very near and dear. But there's just so many people in this industry I can't specifically even name and put one on top, because they all care for me and I care for them,
One person, because the reason, giving my buddies a background here, the reason we met was because I interviewed you for my real job. One person I remember you mentioning was through one of your Allegheny professors.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Chap, probably, or maybe it was Dr. Prince and Dr.
I think it was Chap.
Was it Chap?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love Chap. Yes, I do remember this. I did tell you about Chap. Yeah, he was my chemistry professor, and I think for the first time, even though I didn't end up following the pursuit of chemistry, which I really wanted to, don't get me wrong, that stuff is so interesting to me, and I would go back, and there's a whole story on that. I would go back if I could. But Dr. Chap showed me what it really is like to be so passionate about a career. And I saw it in his eyes. And God forbid, have you ever heard of someone want to major in chemistry? Tell me right now. Are you insane? Right?
I have a funny story. My high school chemistry teacher, I worked hard in chemistry. I wasn't the best student. I wasn't everything. But my chemistry teacher, who I still talk to this day, I'm still good friends with him, gave me the best advice ever, saying, Nick, whatever you do in life, don't become a chemist.
Are you serious?
He said it in a fun, loving way, and at that point of the school career, wow. I was agreeing with him. I'm like, you know what? If I become a chemist, the advice I have to the world is run.
Run! Oh my God! No! But exactly, you're so right. Like no one does it. Like it's very few and far between. I just wish we would have swapped places, because this man, out of everyone I've ever seen in my life, everyone hates chemistry. It's the thing that makes your skin crawl, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh God. But when I went to inorganic chemistry, this man showed me how chemistry is. It's like cooking. It's like we can make the world better with chemistry. You're like a Walter White. You are working in this glove box, like with like explosive chemicals. You're like a badass. You are something, but he makes you excited about it. And I saw that, and I'm like, I want to be excited like that about my career, whatever it is.
And I will say, it wasn't all bad. Like it wasn't anything negative. Like it wasn't.
No, for sure. Like for sure, chemistry is just,
because this was the one teacher too who you could go to for anything in life. Like absolutely. You could just, whether it be chemistry problems, whether it just be you just want to talk sports, or you just want to just, talk to someone about what's going on in your life. He was the one teacher. He was always there early in the morning to make sure you understood what the homework assignment was last night.
Oh, yeah.
He's not explaining this stuff in class, and you're just sitting there like,
Oh,
so
he seems like he cared, which is
He-
really,
definitely was, and that's why we stay in chat to this day. So a big shout out to Mr. Markley if you're watching, B Marks.
let's go.
So
Yes.
you touched on something earlier that was interesting. You've done some work for DC.
Yes, sir. That was actually funny enough. Yeah, my DC was really like my claim to fame. And not that I'm like the biggest person, I'm still working on my career, right? But it really opened a lot of doors for me. I auditioned MegaCon, I believe 23 MegaCon. And like I said, like there were just so many people that would come up to me and like laugh when I was very serious about like working for like major comic companies. And I knew that I had the potential to do so. But I drew like saucy girls in bikinis and it was all anime style. So like people were like, oh, well, you draw the saucy shit. And then you're also just kind of like, you're an anime artist and they don't like that. So you would never have a chance. And then that's why I have to shout out Most, because he was like, I don't believe them. I know you and I've known you for years. And I think you have an equal chance, just as much as any of these people, to get DC Comics. So what you're going to do, little missy, is you're going to take 10 of your best pieces right now. You're going to march up to DC, like the DC audition room, and you're going to submit your work. Because I believe in you, and I think they're going to believe in you. And I said, I don't know, Most. Like, I was so low that day. I was getting over post-COVID. I think I was just like post-COVID, I was fainting like left and right. Like my immune system wasn't even good. And I remember I was like, I couldn't really breathe that day. And I was just like, are you sure? Like, I don't even know if I can do this right now. And he's like, yes, you can do this. I've seen you work. You have the biggest dedication, the biggest heart, and the people love your work. So get out there. And I was like, okay. So I went up to the room and I submitted 10 of like my most powerful pieces. That weekend, there were 800 artists there. And I remember on Saturday, they pick only very few for callbacks each day. But on Saturday, I believe was when I got a callback amongst 4 other people. And then I was like, oh my God, I started crying to my mom. I was like, Mom, I got a callback. What is that? And then not everyone who gets a callback gets hired. So mind you, okay? And I went in there and then it was very intimidating. The executive editor of DC at the time was Ben Abernathy. Shout out to Ben. You're great, Ben. You've opened so many doors. He's not there anymore. I believe he is elsewhere. But he loved my work and he gave me a chance. He was like, Sukesha, I like the art. Let's do something with you. I think you're very unique. And I got hired on the spot, which I didn't cry there, but I came out and I started crying. I was like, everyone told me I could not do this. Growing up, everyone said I couldn't because I'm the anime artist that draws saucy women. Well, a lot of those people are really quiet right now, so the great story to tell, yes. So.
Always the haters that are always the quiet ones.
They're very quiet, but they're loud too. And then they always come back and they're like, oh. And I'm like, well, I'm always going to be nice regardless, but I'm always going to be nice. Yeah. Go ahead,
My favorite are the ones that always think, oh, well, I was always your fan since day one, so.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
So
What comics can we find your work on?
Oh my goodness, so many. Before DC, I was on a crazy amount of comics. Totally Rad, which is a little bit more of a saucier take, of course. I love Jim Noble and he started me out in the industry. But Counterpoint, obviously with Murat Michaels, I've done a couple of his Hardly Thins. Funny enough, the ripoff, like the Hardly Thin, was one of my like audition pieces for the DC, but I guess Ben was very kind about it. So Hardly Thin, I had some Mount Olympus comics beforehand. I had some Absolute with White Widow. And then, I think Widow came after DC. But the DC itself, like, just opened so many more doors. And now I have, like, I need to actually go over what I have because I've got, like, so many comics now. Like, Tidal Wave has me. And actually, my newest is Capcom. I just got with Mega Man, which is a big deal. So,
Nice.
Yes, I'm Capcom's one of their newest cover artists. So that I just announced 2 days ago. Yes, so it's a
Buddycast exclusive.
I know, right? And Vaporella took me as well. I'm now a Dynamite artist as well. So a lot of different doors. So it's exciting.
Things are coming up, Suki.
I'm trying. I'm working. I'm trying my best. Trying to be the superhero everyone needs. So
Now, Suki, you're involved in a lot of pop culture shows, a lot of Comic-Cons. Tell me about those experiences.
Yeah, not only do I do Comic-Cons, I actually used to do like those really high-end like Art Basel. Like I used to do like big canvases, paint on big murals. Like you would see me on like these huge walls in Miami. And that's something I feel like I should tell people more that I do. Like I actually paint like big murals. That was a big part of street culture. So if you go to Miami, you'll see quite a bit of my murals around the city, unless they've won over them, you know, they always change up the city. So, but I learned a lot of techniques from my street artist friends. Like if you guys know, like, Pez is a very famous street artist. Like, obviously Alec Monopoly. I don't know him personally, but I know he knows a lot of my friends. What's his name? Goodness me. Oh, London Police. Or you might not know these people because they're street artists, but big followings, travel the world, do like 130 feet murals, huge guys, but taught me a lot, you know, taught me a lot of art. So on top of the mural stuff, yeah, the Comic-Cons, I just recently came back from Japan for Osaka Comic-Con. It was a dream come true, and I'm so grateful. So that's where Blake comes in. So shout out to Blake and Mustafa for that. And then I did Monaco Comic-Con, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Canadian shows. I'm trying to expand myself all over the world if I can. I want everyone to see what I can do, and the response has been kind of cool, so I'm grateful for that.
Sweetness. What shows do you have coming up here soon?
Oh my goodness. A lot. I need to like work on getting my schedule out to the public a little bit better. Of course, we have the whole circuit around the US. We have San Diego, we got the big one, New York. I might be in Poland this year, and I might also do Tokyo, so which is a pretty cool deal. Was also thinking of doing a Rome show, but I just don't know if it'll fall on other stuff. So trying to take this brand international. I'm working on it. So
have you ever been part of like Steel City Con or fan expos, anything like that?
Yes, I love the fan expo circuit. Yes, they're some of my favorite circuits to do, and I love Steel City. I think they had me as a guest circa, I believe it was last year, because of my DC comic coming out. So yes, they had me as a guest last year, and man, their green room is amazing. They treat their guests well. Fan Expo's also amazing. I know Rich really well. I know Alex. George is great. So yeah, no, those guys I've known for like a minute now, and they always treat me really kindly. And I believe even Autumn, when she was a part of the circuit. And if there's anyone I'm missing, forgive me, but no, they're all very kind in the circuit, and I just enjoy doing their shows. And what I like about the Fan Expo shows is they bring in the people, and the people are like dedicated fans. And also what's good about them is they're all over the place. So you see Canada, you see like New Orleans, San Francisco, like God forbid, in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, nothing can come up right now, but they spread it out, you know. So, and I've always been a big fan of their shows. They always take care of me. So
I gotta say, one thing that I love about Comic-Cons, like you said, they're fans from all over the place, but they're genuine fans. They're genuine, they're true. This is their passion. This is what they do outside of their 9 to 5, Monday through Friday job. This isn't just something someone just stumbles into and it's like, oh, what's this or something. This is something like someone could probably tell you more about your artwork than you could or something like that, you know? Like,
yes, and I learn something from them every day. Like I love them. They really do. And I love all my fans. And I just, if you guys are watching or catch me on this, like I love it. You learn something every time, you know, and I feel like it's just like we're all otakus, we're all nerds, and we're just here to vibe out. It's the whole point of this whole thing. So I think you get it too. It's such a fun thing. It's like they can get away. They can just be on like a planet different from like normal society. And I love that, you know.
And that's what else I love too. Like they can, like you said, they can just be themselves. They can be like, hey, this weekend I'm not Joe the accountant. That's Monday through Friday. I'm
Right.
Skylark, the Avenger from something, like the
Yeah.
warrior from this planet and then they'll walk around thinking it's a unique thing, but then five people will
Right.
just from the entrance line, hey, nice Skylark costume.
Yeah, and no, that's exactly the thing. You're so right, Nick. And everyone's so kind. Like you can just approach someone willy-nilly, and they won't care because they care just as much as you do. So
I
yeah.
also love the fan forums. Like Steel City Con has a fan forum on Facebook, and one of the questions that stood out to me, one person asked is like, I'm new to Steel City Con. How do you make friends at conventions? Like, what's some of the best way to meet people? And I responded back, step 1, stand in a really long line. Step 2, turn around to the person behind you and go, hi, I'm so-and-so.
Pretty much. And then just start talking about nerd stuff because they're going to like it. So
I've made so many friends that way. Just simply saying, hi, I'm Nick. Hi, I'm so-and-so. Oh, you're here to see this actor too? Oh, yeah, I loved him in this movie. Hey, me too. Bada bing, bada boom.
Right on.
There.
Love that.
Even in Erie, we have a small Comic-Con. If you ever do little shows or anything like that, we have a small Comic-Con in September. If you ever want me to put your name out there.
Oh, thanks, Nick. If I got the time, like I said, I am a crazy running around like crazy. But the small ones, how I feel about them is they give me a breakaway, and they're very, very refreshing from the monsters, something like MomoCon I was just at, or some of the crazy, San Diego's obviously the biggest one in the US, but it gives you a break, and they're wholesome because at some bigger shows you don't have a lot. Even at damn Philly, Philly was also Fan Expo Philly, I was just hi, welcome to my booth, but you don't really get that intimate interaction with the fans. But when you're at the smaller shows, you can actually talk to them, and it's special for them. You can be hey, let's have an actual conversation versus a hi and bye. What do you want? Okay, hi and bye. It's it's much nicer. I think it's more.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I've been to those Comic-Cons where it's literally
hi bye.
Your favorite. Here's your celebrity that you've seen in movies, you've dreamed of meeting. You have 5 seconds, and that 5 seconds is just gonna be hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty much.
Oh, good. Smile. All right, thanks.
That's it.
They're not going to remember you unless you do something hilarious or do something, But those little Comic-Cons, the one we have here in Erie, I've met celebrities that I've kept in touch with. Awesome. They remember me because I was the guy. You weren't just some guy who was hey, come on my podcast and do that. You were the guy who showed he was genuinely interested in me. You did your research. You knew who I was from. You made a human connection with me, which was step 1.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then you said, hey, I'm ready, Then you made your pitch, and I said, why wouldn't I be with this guy? So.
Right. Oh, you're so right.
Yeah. So when it comes to when it comes to art, when it comes to Comic-Cons, everything like that, what are some of your hopes and dreams?
Hopes and dreams. Yeah. That's also a very good question. I think my dream has always been, Nick, and it's not even so much it's funny because some people are oh, I want to financially blah, blah, blah. I think that I've always just wanted my art to just be around as many people and be an impact. Because I remember as a little girl, when I was growing up, I used to like this artist, and she was from Israel. And I was really depressed growing up. I had a lot of family issues going on, and I talk about it sometimes, and I was really sad. And I remember I would get on my computer after school and be really stressed out. And then I would look at this artist art, and I'm damn, this really makes me feel kind of good. This art makes me feel good. And I want my art to do that for everybody. I want everyone to look at a piece that I make and be this is nostalgic. This makes me feel good. I love what she did with my character, and it's bringing me positivity. I think that has always been my goal. Same with my music, of course. I think it's just to get my brand all over the entire world, and to have people some way be impacted by it, and just to feel the same way that I did as a little girl, and the reason that I went into this career. So, yeah.
Perfect. Hey, you brought up another good point. You're also a musician. Tell me how you got into music.
Oh gosh, this is a dark story, and I talk about it all the damn time. Oh boy. I live in Miami, as you know, so it's very easy to get like kind of connected with like big people here. It's so easy. And people are like, oh my God, you've hung out with this person, that person. Yes, and it's really easy if you're just like you look kind of nice and you're walking down the streets of South Beach, you get picked up and you just go to parties. So I met someone at a party a long time ago that worked with like Universal. No shade on Universal, they're great, but the person that I was associated with wasn't a good person. So the story starts dark. Like this person kind of abused me and hurt me, and
Aw.
it was a very abusive story. Yes, sort of like the diddler. He knew diddler, so that's fun. But he told me I have to give this to him. He was the first person that was like, you can be great and you have some potential and I'm going to train you and you're going to be my apprentice for a little bit. So I sucked up. I did some really bad things that I can't talk about here. And I was starting to change as a human. Like let's say I fell into the dark side. And I started to be very, I remember I was dating someone and he was like, what's happening to you? You know, what's happening? Like you aren't you anymore. And while I was learning, like I would go to these parties with like big rappers. Like I would be at like one night Flo Rida's house. I would be one night at Rick Ross's birthday. I'd be at like the Chainsmokers after party. I'm not even joking. Like Kendall Jenner was at one of our parties. And like, it was like really overwhelming because I was around these very high profile. So I had to act a certain way. I had to be a certain way. He's like, if you mess up, people are going to like mess you up too. So like, you better like, they're going to mess you up. Like if you don't behave and sit down and be quiet, because I was like, I like to talk to people. And he's like, don't you talk to the cameraman. You're not allowed to talk to him. You're only allowed to talk to like art. It's very strict. The industry and music, like if you're with the right people, I'm saying. But that was abusive and that was like very scary for me. It was a scary experience, but I learned a lot because as scary as it was, this person told me that I could do it, if that makes sense. And someone at that high of a caliber where you can just jump into a studio with Bryson Tiller or like Birdman, right? And Lil Wayne, like has that connection, believes in me like that. There must be something inside of me. So I cut my ties with that person because it just didn't work out. And I just hustled on my own for a couple years until my current producer now, Brunel, found me. He is the one who we first signed with Warner. Warner kind of shelved me for a couple years, but now we're with Sony. And yeah, it's been a whole journey. And my lead single now has like almost 1 million plays. We're getting there. So
Woo.
watch out, Taylor Swift. I'm coming. I'm just joking. I'm kidding. She's fantastic. I'm joking. But
Hey, I believe in you. I believe you're gonna.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm just trying to write about my story, and I hope that people relate and feel like obviously the same way with my music as they do my art. That's just the whole point. It's not to like make money here. It's not to like be like blah blah blah. But I want as many people to hear what I can do as
Exactly. Number one, I'm so sorry that it started out so rough and so bad, but it sounds like things have gotten a lot better. Things have gotten a lot more. You know, you're going down the right path. You found the right people. It's no longer that situation, you know? So that's what it's all.
Thank you. That's very kind. I think I saw a lot of positivity from like the universe and like spiritually, I really like kind of like went on like this whole spiritual thing. And I didn't ever believe in myself that because he was telling me things like, you gotta act like a god. You have to act like a god in front of these people. That's how you have to act if you want to be like one of us. And I'm like, I'm not gonna treat these people like I'm a god. Sorry, I'm not gonna act like I'm a god in front of these people. You know what? We used to shout. I was like, you know why? These people are the reason you're successful. How could you?
Exactly. Hasn't he ever heard of this the simple saying, you treat others the way you want to be treated?
Yeah. Oh, yes. And the simplest form of the matter. So I'm like, man, I don't think that was the play. Like my stomach just told me, I'm like, shiznit. I was like, oh, shiznit. I like really wanted to be a part of this big thing in the upper echelon and some, you know, like, but at the same time, I don't think you have to do it and be mean to people getting there. You can be kind and you can be gentle. And I think people will just appreciate you for what you do, you know? So thank you for that though.
Exactly. I always say I give the same respect to the janitor that I give to the CEO, and I'd rather
Love it.
work for someone who does that exact same thing
Love it.
than someone who just sees you as that, like, just that asset of just like, you're here because of
Yeah.
me, you're here because of da 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 da, and that's it. You're not the, like, stay in your lane and do everything. It's one reason
Yeah.
I love my real job. They value me. They say, like, it's not just, oh, you're Nick, you're just here so we can get more of the, so we can get more attention or anything. They're like, you're
Sure.
Nick. We love your ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So
That's amazing. That's super
yeah,
cool.
I gotta ask you my favorite song, because after I chatted with you for my real job, when I started listening to your music, I'm now a fan,
Yay!
and
Oh, thank you so much.
one of my absolute favorite songs of yours is "Fire."
Yes.
Can you tell me about that song? Tell me about everything.
Oh my goodness, thank you for asking. Oh goodness, and I'm not gonna out this person's it's about a couple people. It's a mishmash of like half of that like really bad producer guy and like a
Mhm.
person I was dating for a minute. And it's about the pain and torments of kind of like this person that like I really cared about. Just like doing like a 360, sorry, not 180. 180 is like yeah, I was like, not 360 is the same thing.
Mhm.
A 180 flip. And I was dating this person for like a long time. And it is a long time. I'm not going to give the amount of years or months because that would be giving it away. But basically, I dated this person for a minute. And it's the kind of the reason I don't date anybody today because this person I really cared a lot about. Just even when we broke up, we were still friends. But then at the same time, like he just did like this weird flip-flop. And I was just like, all that you put me through, you made me someone new because now like I know what I deserve in somebody, I think.
Mhm.
But it's a song that's supposed to be empowering for people who have like kind of just went through like really crazy breakups where you have like a partner that just kind of changes on you and you're like, I don't even know where this came from. Where did this come from?
Mhm.
Where?
And to me, like, I don't see the song just as like just as
Yeah.
relationship, like just as boyfriend
Yeah.
girlfriend situation. It can be anything. It could be
Mm-hmm.
like a family relationship that's gone bad. It could be a
Yeah.
friendship gone bad.
Yes.
It can be a work relationship
Yes.
that's gone bad, like an old job or something that, like,
Yes.
just anything that puts you through like a fiery situation, anything that tests you, everything that,
Yep.
like, just, I hate to say it,
Oh
waste your
yeah.
potential or something like that, and just. But you're right. It's that 180 of, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, I'm
Yeah.
I'm a huge Elton John fan.
Right
I love Elton
on.
John's music. I love, my favorite song is "I'm Still Standing," and
Awesome.
I love his movie Rocket Man. I
Oh
love,
yeah, that's a good one. Rocketman's
and
great.
my favorite
Yeah.
scene in the whole thing, other than the "I'm Still Standing" at the end, is when he's at the intervention and he's having like all those ghosts from the past come in.
Mm-hmm.
They're all telling him like his mother's telling him, like, yeah, look at you now, Mr. Beach, or his
Right.
ex-boyfriend's coming in and going, he doesn't even know who he is, and
Wow.
he's like, he's telling those people off, but then his best friend Bernie comes in, his lyricist
Yep.
comes in and goes, dude, like, you got to realize who you are right now, and he basically tells him, Bernie, if it wasn't for you, I don't know where I'd be today, so thank you.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
do
have the
love
right
it.
words for you. And he goes, no, I 100% understand. I understand who you are. You just need to understand who you are. And then his ex-boyfriend goes, he doesn't even know who he is. He stands up to him and goes, yes, I do. I'm Elton Hercules John.
Wow. I think I needed to hear that today too, because lately I've just been having a lot of people and I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe I'm on some kind of like transition to somewhere, but like I've just had a lot of people kind of like in my close circle, which is
Mm-hmm.
annoying because you're always gonna have haters,
Yeah.
right? That's very normal, like just art and music. You're going to have people criticize your stuff, but especially the bigger that you get. But even in my close circle, I've seen this year it's been very difficult for me, and I've been talking about this. Like people just twist and turn on you,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even do anything to them. I'm like, I haven't done a single thing. I just focus. All I do is come home, I work on weekends, I go do my stuff, I go record, I come back, and you just focus on you, but it seems to really piss people off that you're just trying to do something.
That you're trying to do something better for yourself. You're trying to better yourself.
Yeah.
You're trying to do your thing, and people are like, "Hey, over here," or something. Like.
Yeah.
I get that 101%. I can't.
So
I don't know your
annoying.
story exactly, and I never will. I tell people that all the time. I never, but
Yeah.
I get that. Some people just, and it surprises you. It surprises you when you, especially the close knit circle, like you have a good friend that you used to
Yeah.
like you've been talking to since high school or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's like you've just drifted apart because you've just seen so many indifferences, whether it's something little like politics or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like just something that little or something. Now suddenly it's like once you were brothers, now I couldn't tell you what that dude's up to if I bumped into him with my car tomorrow.
It's kind of interesting. But to be fair, I'm kind of one of those friends, like even I consider you like, I mean, obviously we haven't hung out as much, but you're
Yeah.
very kind and
Uh,
you're very kind and I appreciate this and your questions are awesome.
Yeah.
But like I'm one of those people, if you don't talk to me for God forbid, let's say like 10 years, I'm still gonna be the same Sukesha. Never
yeah.
gonna change. I've always been the same since I was young. And I don't know. I just
It never change for someone. Never change for your standard.
yeah.
I say all the time, like I'm one of those rational people of I would rather have 3 solid good friends that I know always have my back and be like you, where like you call me in
Absolutely.
10 years and say I just want to meet up
Yes.
and just need someone to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm right there.
Yep.
Rather than those 5 million friends that
Yeah.
are like the minute something happens to you, like the minute you say, "Hey, I'm retiring from
Yeah.
art," or "I'm retiring from music," I'm never
Oh,
touching
yeah.
it again or something. All of a sudden, those people just like disappear or just be like, like, "Oh yeah,"
Right.
something
Right.
like that, like just become crickets or something like that.
No, for sure. And I do have a bestie like that, and she's from college. Her name's Sonia, but we talk every like 5 months or so, right?
Yeah.
At least a couple months each time. But like, she's still one of my best friends in the whole world. And shout out to Sonia if you're gonna watch this girl. But it's just people who understand that. What's that? Sorry.
That's what Buddycast is about.
Exactly. Just being a buddy and like kind of understanding, but not everyone is like that. So I also understand.
Yeah.
But good point, Nick. You make a good point.
Going back to you being an artist, one question I'm always intrigued by with artists, and I think you're the perfect candidate for this question. With the uprising of AI today, with everything that's going on, with how it's so easy to just go into AI and just say, "Hey, I want an image of so and so riding a giraffe in like Denver or something like that," and there it is. Like there's a celebrity riding a giraffe in like with mountains in the background or something like that. What's your take on AI as an artist?
It's a very good question, and I've answered this before in like many other podcasts, and I love answering it. I truly do. I don't think it's awkward. So I think AI can have like very useful applications to an artist. I really do. And have I used it before? Yes, but this is how I've used it. Okay, not in the actual drawing process. However, let's say there's some pieces of mine that were very old, resolution horrible. I've only used AI in the point because my friend showed me this where you can upscale images that were old and then you could make them high resolution again. And I was like, oh my gosh, my stuff is high res from the stuff I made back in like 2010. This is amazing. But to call yourself an artist, this is why I always stream like the full before process and after, because it is becoming more commonplace and it's not okay to say that you're an artist when you're just digitally producing these models. It's not okay. You can't claim that title. For me personally, even though there's an AI boom, I understand that. And it's something that we have to live with in today's society. But I think being an artist that's been active in this industry for over like a decade, people kind of know your work, and having that fan base support and knowing like, okay, we've known Sukesha for like 10 years. I don't think DC would hire me if they thought it was some AI. You know what I mean? Like I put in the work. I think that's something that does help me. But I think for artists in the future to kind of get by these accusations is to always record your processes, start to finish, put them on YouTube, prove that you're not, And one thing that I actually do, let me show you right now, to actually also prove that I'm not, is I do a lot of traditional work, just a lot of it. Like you'll see a lot of pen and pencil, like no tracing from my head. Like I am purely like, and that's, I think, what makes artists stronger. And I think traditional will be the rare arts now because we're all moving towards a digital age. So if you become a traditional artist and you do more of that stuff, I think that people will be like, wow, it's just something not. So I always make sure because artists, we're becoming more relying on the control delete. Oh, you made a wrong line? It's okay. I'll just copy and just undo it. Undo, undo. I respect artists. Not that I don't respect digital artists. I am one myself, but like I also respect people. And this is why most comes back into play because Mustafa is a genius inker, but he does it traditionally. And his work looks better than all these Procreate artists that are using line correction, and it's fine, it's for the industry, but like his work just by hand is purely better than the people who use the correction and stuff. Like I respect the traditional artists to this day, and I think that the AI never will have soul too. Like it's never gonna have soul. Good luck. I think true artists can truly like have that connection with the customer for a long time now. Maybe the AI will get, I don't know if it will be in my time personally.
Mhm.
But
I honestly,
right.
yeah.
Sorry,
Go,
go ahead, Nick.
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I don't know if it'll be in my time. I was just saying, but like I just feel like the soul is not in it, and that's very important in art.
I honestly view it like
Yeah.
go to a grocery store today,
Mhm.
and there's the checkout line.
Hmm.
You can do self checkout just to get on with your day. Sometimes it
Sure.
gives you
Sure.
technicalities that you're just like, I just got this
Yeah.
item while you're telling me to put it's in the bag while you're doing it, like all that
Yes.
stuff that you're just frustrated with it. Or you can go wait in line for 5 minutes and then go to an actual human being scanning it for you who you have that conversation with that you can say, hey, how's your
Okay.
day going? How do you like working here? What's the, like any funny stories today or some that will just genuinely give you a conversation, even if they're just like, it's nice, it's this, it's that, some will actually give you a story. Oh, I love this. This is a fantastic job.
Sure.
They treat you so well. They treat you so amazing here. It's the best, you know?
Yeah, and I think it just depends on like what people want. And here's another thing too. I have to make this clear because
Mhm.
let's say you're like a low budget person and you're trying to write a story. Let's say you're a writer and you don't really have the budget yet and you're starting out and you don't want to hire too many artists, which is fine. I'm expensive. My stuff is expensive. It's okay. And you want a generalized concept for your work and you use ChatGPT to generalize like a elf man and blah blah blah. People have done that a lot with me. Like they've shown me AI references and I'm like, that's fine. Like I don't mind that you use that to like find an idea. Like people will give me like 5 AI generated. I'm like, that's okay. Because we're all just trying to do it in this industry, And
Mhm.
like, but when then you can take all those and bring it to the artist, and then we're gonna give you exactly what you want. So
Exactly.
that's right. I'm not going to shade people if they want to like for character concept design and stuff like that. That's fine. But don't go ahead and do that and be like, I'm the artist. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. That's not okay.
I believe a wise artist once told me to
Yeah.
quote Syndrome from The Incredibles.
Yes,
What was that line you told me?
I know. It was like when everyone's super, no one will be, right?
Hmm.
Whenever, right.
When everyone's using AI, what's going to happen to the real artists? Well, the real artists are going to have their fan base and they're going to be right there, supporting them through this entire process.
No, I think so too. It's just gonna become like really rare. Like also just a traditional artist to have like hand drawn art. Like it's something I think it's very special. So I make sure that I'm honing in very like I'm like oh, I think this is gonna become more and more rare. So I'm like, okay, hone in. Draw the traditional. It's very special. And people like it. Like I love that people like it. So
Hmm. Now, buddy, I've got two more questions for you for
sure.
this episode. Like I said, you're not a guest on the show, you're a buddy. So
Awesome.
that brings me to my next question, which is, in your own words, what does it mean to be someone's buddy?
Oh my gosh. Aw. Okay. A buddy is someone, and this is someone that I've always liked to, I think, So, and this is in terms of on the show or just in general? Like
Just in general. Like, how would you
general?
define, like, if I walked up to you in the street and say, like,
Okay.
hand you a microphone and say, how would you define a buddy?
Okay, cool. I'm someone who's always gonna give you like who I am, like exactly like right there on the spot. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you have something in your teeth, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not a yes man. Okay,
I'm
but
clear, right? I'm good.
You're good. Squeaky clean.
Yay!
Squeaky clean. Perfect.
Because I got a dental appointment tomorrow. So
Oh, right on. I need to get in there. Seriously. No, I think I'm just like one of those people that's just and I think this is why like I fans like coming back, which is thanks guys if you're watching this. Because I want people to always feel comfortable around me. I'm a great listener. I make sure that people like feel heard. Okay, especially even my interviewers. Like I want to know about you guys too. Like I also feel like it's a two-way thing with me and like if I'm a buddy for someone, I'm always going to ask you first, how are you? Like even if let's say I had like this is the kind of person I am. I just got signed to Capcom as, you know, like I just got like my Mega Man cover, which is really exciting. But whenever my friends like call me, they're like Sukesha, but I'm like, but how are you first? Are you doing great? How are you, buddy? Like I always make sure that my people are like good before they like come and ask me about because I kind of grew up in a place where people didn't always care about me. And not saying my mom and dad didn't, but just like friends. And I always kind of felt like I was in the back, you know? I was sort of a caterpillar kid and I was just the anime girl that drew. And but like and so I always just come from that place where I'm like, oh, I always put others before me. So as a buddy, like I always put others before me. You're gonna get real Sukesha. I also just care. Like I care a lot. And if something's up, like and if you really need help with something, I'm gonna give you a genuine answer. I'm not gonna be around the bush. I don't gatekeep. Like when artists come up to me and they're like, oh, who inspired you? There's artists that like gatekeep. Who I'm like, I'm not gonna gatekeep anything. Like I don't have anything to hide.
You're
So
an open book.
You're gonna get an authentic person that just genuinely cares. So
And I do have to tell you, here on Buddycast, you're not just a friend on the back burner that we're just using for a resume or being like, hey, I can be like, you know, I interviewed Sukesha, so I can interview any artist or something. You're a buddy. You're a buddy on the show that I'm very happy to have you on the show. I'm very happy that I just reached out and said, hey, I have this podcast. Would you like to be on it? And the first thing you said was, absolutely. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love these things. I love talking like just to different people. The questions you guys ask are awesome. Some of them are a little crazy though, but yours have been really good. So thank you. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The final question, speaking of crazy, the final question I have for you is what we call the ultimate Buddycast buddy question. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
I'm going to make this a two-parter for you.
Sure.
The first part, it's going to be based on advice. The first advice I'm wondering what you have for anyone out there who's aspiring to be an artist, who like you just has that niche, you know, is always drawing, it's always, you know, whether they're spending recess drawing or they're, you know, they're really passionate about art class or heck, they're in their 30s and just doodling on the side while they, you know, while they crunch numbers or something like that. What's your advice to them?
Oh yeah, I love this question. Oh my goodness. It's to never, my biggest thing is to never listen to what anybody tells you. Screw these people. Screw them. That's my biggest thing. Do you know why? All my life I've been told that I couldn't do it by so many people. And it's not even so much like my parents were supportive, but I was always going to be like the doctor, an Indian doctor. Go figure. Sorry. But it's very common, you know, like my dad's a surgeon. He's amazing. My mom's a nurse. She's white though. So I'm like 50-50, but no, like I was going to be a plastic surgeon. It's still art kind of, if you think about it, it's still kind of artsy. But no, like everyone was just like, oh, this is just anime. Every one of my art teachers, I remember I was sitting in an art class and my art teacher told me, excuse me, do you even want to be here? Because I was doing my own style. And she was like, she said that to me and I was so young and I'm like, yes, I want to be here. But she wasn't even giving the criteria yet. And I couldn't stop my hand. It just is starting to draw. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, yes, I do. But she didn't give the criteria yet. And I got so sad from that comment. I'm like, of course I want to be here and learn, you know? But so many people are so like negative and really mean about like just you doing this, and then people are like, oh, you do art? And I'm like, yes, I do art, and I travel the world for my art, and it's a blessing. Yes. And you can do it too, but it's tough. It's tough.
Hey, anything worth fighting for, any passion worth fighting for is always going to have some bumps in the road, always going to have some rocks in the road, you know?
Absolutely.
Never easy. I've never met a successful person that's lived on easy street, basically.
Unless your parents are like billionaires, maybe, but are they really happy at that point? I almost like the fight for it. It makes it all the better, you know?
I love the underdog story. I love the story of rags to riches. I love the story of just how you fought for adversity, you know?
Yes. So. Yes. It makes it all the more like rewarding. So I always say to myself, if I ever, God forbid, you know, you become like a millionaire, and if I have kids, I'm gonna make them work. Like you're working for that. You working for that, Francisco. Pull that name out of nowhere. So
part 2 that I have for advice is what for anyone out there who wants to be a musician, who wants to go into the music industry, what's your advice?
Oh boy. All right. I'm trying to word this the right way so I don't say it, because this one, even more so than art, this one's a slimy industry. It's slimy. Now, you're going to want to find like the right team. And if it feels right in your stomach, stick with it. You're definitely going to need a budget for music. Like I use my art primarily a lot to fund my music, because to do it at like a, you know, producers want money, promo wants money, labels want money. And sometimes labels give you money, which is great. That's great too. But in the very beginning stages, you're going to need stuff for promo. So I would say just like keep going. Like for an inspirational story, like Russ, R-U-S-S, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that musician. He dropped a song every day for a year. And he was like, I'm not stopping until I make it. Russ was crazy. So like, you know what, biggest advice, just get your stuff out there. Both sides, music and art, get it out there. Just post it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now let's end on, I lied, one more question. Let's end on a positive note.
Yes.
What does Sukesha think of Buddycast?
Okay, beautiful. I think that you were a great interview, Nick. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And I loved the questions. You didn't make me feel uncomfortable. You really the questions were great. And I love what you guys stand for. I think it's really fun. And I think you guys have like a really bright future at Buddycast. And I'm glad that I did this tonight. I was like really tired before, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel. And then I got on and you gave me this great energy. So anyone in the future, if you guys are looking at Buddycast, interview with Nick. He's great.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the compliment. Yeah. It really helps. So Sukesha, before we end this episode, I have one favor to ask you.
What's up?
And I ask this to all my buddies that come on the show.
Sure.
Whatever you do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, even next year, promise me one thing.
Yes.
Promise me you're going to go out and you're going to go be someone's buddy.
Oh, of course. That's standard. I feel like that's the standard at my show. I feel like people come to me for that reason at shows, and I want people to believe in that. So love that, Nick.
Well, keep it up, Sukesha, and thank you for being a buddy on Buddycast. It was an honor. Stick around for a minute if you have a minute afterwards to chat.
Yes,
but for all my buddies out there, this is my new buddy, Sukesha Ray. Please check out her artwork. Check out her music. Just check her out in general, you know? She is what it means to be someone's buddy. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on everybody's favorite show.
Well, the days are going fast, buddy, we've got to make them last, buddy, before they've all gone past, buddy, tune in to Buddycast. But don't be nutty, go make it, buddy, here on Buddycast.